The story of a devotee of the Wither, Adriana Parker. Born under a blood-red moon on October 31st in the ancient city of Heidelberg, Germany, Adriana Selene Parker was a child of eerie quietness and unnatural calm. Her family belonged to an old noble bloodline that had lost its wealth but kept its pride, residing in a crumbling estate just outside the city limits. Her parents, strict and pious, saw Adriana as a burden, a reminder of their fading legacy. To them, she was too curious, too morbid, too different. As she grew, Adriana began hearing whispers from the shadows, voices that spoke of power, truth, and liberation. They often came at night, through the cracks in the stone walls or the wind that howled through the chapel ruins near their estate. The one voice that rose above the rest, was deep, commanding, and strangely comforting. It introduced itself as the Wither, an ancient and forgotten deity of decay, destruction, and rebirth, banished from the mortal realm ages ago. At first, she resisted. But the more her parents scorned her for her odd behavior, burning her drawings, locking her in her room, dragging her to exorcisms, the more she turned to the Wither for solace. On her 8th birthday, Adriana made a secret pact. She would serve the Wither if it freed her from her earthly suffering. That very night, her parents were found dead, faces contorted in terror, their bodies scorched and partially turned to ash. No fire had been lit. No intruder was ever found. Adriana was discovered alone in the chapel ruins, calmly playing a pipe organ that hadn't worked in centuries. With no family left, Adriana disappeared from public life. Over the following years, rumors spread of a girl who wandered the woods of Germany, followed by skeletal creatures and cloaked in shadow. By the time she was a teenager, Adriana had rebuilt the ruined chapel into a towering, obsidian-covered cathedral deep in the Black Forest, inaccessible by normal roads. She renamed it the Temple of Withering Grace. There, she began gathering outcasts, fanatics, and the broken-hearted, teaching them the doctrine of the Wither. She preached that destruction was not the end, but a sacred cleansing, one that would allow the faithful to ascend and join the Wither in eternal union. She mastered arcane arts, summoning her skeletons, burning with her spells, and forming an hive-mind fusion, a sword of her pipe organ became her instrument of judgment, with each haunting melody. Her power grew, capable of raising the dead or sending heretics into madness. Adriana's cult grew in secrecy. Townsfolk who wandered too close to the forest vanished, only to reappear as empty-eyed converts or corpses surrounded by wither roses. The German government investigated once, but the entire task force sent into the forest never returned. Officials called it a landslide. The locals knew better. Over time, Adriana identified enemies of the faith, figures like humanity that she labeled heretics and hunted through her loyal followers or dark magic. She viewed them as false prophets, threats to the Wither's return. She declared herself the prophet of the Wither, no longer Adriana Parker, but a vessel of divine will. Though she retained the mind of a young woman, her heart pulsed with something ancient, malevolent, and relentless.